What's up? What's up? Hey, this is a remix. Our first show. We got about 5 minutes in. Then we had technical difficulties, and we've done this a few times now. So, we're just gonna try to reschedule. We're gonna throw an impromptu. Let's talk about some NFTs. Let's talk about where things are, and let's try to make something out of this. I guess what's the saying? When life gives you lemons, you make some motherfucking lemonade.
I thought you were going to say squeeze them in your enemy's eyes, but same thing. Yeah, like Hodger said, unfortunately, we're going to have to reschedule with Little Chronic, so anybody who is here ready to see that today, we will post the new show date soon. That being said, welcome back to Web3 DJs, the fastest 30 minutes on the blockchain. I'm telling you, it doesn't get any better than this. We're here making JPEGs cool again. Let's get right into it. I guess we can start off with, let's go ahead and start off with a market cap here. So Bitcoin over the last 24 hours down 1.07%. It's at $22,315. But that being said, don't go cry to your mom yet because it's up 6.65% over the last 7 days. Ethereum, $1,558. Wow, we just got a little bit of a $1,558.13. Down only 0.4% over the last 24 hours. And look at this, up a whopping 14.71% over the last 7 days. What does this mean for Ethereum? Are we back? What are you doing? Are you doing anything special? Because I'll be honest with you guys, I'm dollar cost averaging right now. I have the Coinbase card, and every time I get a percentage back, I'm going ahead and just adding my cash back into Ethereum. I'm starting to add a little bit more at the end of each week, and that's kind of my strategy right now. I don't know if this is the calm before the storm, if this is the last kind of bull run before we really go down, if we're really just going to see the crab market, which means we're going up and down for the foreseeable future. I have no idea. I'm dollar cost averaging. Hofstra, what's your play here?
No, I'm not buying anything right now, but I bought about $2,000 when it was at 900. So I did a one-time dump. Plus I was selling some NFTs. So I got about 5 ETH just stacked away, which isn't a whole lot, but hey, if it goes back up to 4,000, not too bad. And hey, can I share my screen real quick? I just want to pull up.
Yeah, go ahead. While you're doing that, let me just go ahead and say real quick, there are two other things that I'm buying into right now. So let's go ahead and call them out. First is Solana. I know everybody out there is going to hate me for wanting to say I'm buying into Solana, but over the last 24 hours, it's down 2%. And it's up 0.1% over the last 7 days. I think I'm just seeing kind of the market trends seem to be pushing towards Solana. I'm not saying exclusively, I'm not saying that we're going to migrate from Ethereum, but I think that it's a really interesting opportunity. And so I am starting to add Solana for the first time ever. You guys heard it here, July, what is today? Whatever today's date is, we're adding now. I think it might be the 23rd, 24th. So I'm starting to add Solana for the first time ever. Now, the second blockchain that I have decided to, my friends told me about it previously, and it took me until this weekend to decide that I am going to start buying into it, is Tezos. Tezos, down 4.47%. Yeah, over the last 24 hours, $1.62. I think this is an excellent opportunity. It's up 1.39% over the last 7 days. And I'll be honest, the reason I'm buying into Tezos is because it seems to be where a lot of big players are. You don't see Formula One racing buying into any other blockchain, but you do see them on Tezos. I also just saw today, and I'm going to pull it up for you guys if I can, a baseball team with, here we go, the New York Mets joined, or Tezos ecosystem rather, joined the New York Mets as an advertising partner. And if you look on the backdrop of their baseball stadium, you'll see this giant Tezos on Citi Field. So I'm not saying that has anything to do with stock fundamentals or anything like that, but sentiment seems to be relatively positive to me. And so I am adding Tezos and Solana along with my dollar cost averaging of Ethereum. So that's what I'm doing right now in the market. Have no idea, not financial advice, do your own research and that sort of thing. But hey, that's what's going on here in the land of Sticky Finger Jones.
Welcome to the club, the Tezos Club.
Thank you, Joe. Tezotopia, make sure you check those guys out.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff I was looking at. Like the whole reason when I started getting into crypto and following what was happening, like even how me and you met. We actually met on a giveaway that Socios.com was doing, and they are on the Chili's blockchain. So the UFC had a fan token, and they were doing like an initial coin offering, and you could only get it in Europe. I don't even know if you can buy it here now, but I got some chilies and I bought some fan tokens. And anyway, we won a giveaway, and that's how we met at this UFC Houston a couple years ago. But if you follow sports, like just on the Chili's blockchain, they've probably signed close to 100 different franchises.
Yes, most definitely.
So big on European soccer, but I think like the 76ers, I haven't checked it in a while, but they had, I think it seemed like weekly they were signing people, and all the indicators for me were like, okay. And actually, if you look at NFL right now, look at all the commercials. Just look at V Chain on the UFC. Look at FTX sponsoring all
baseball.
Kinds of stuff. I mean,
yeah, all the umpires in the MLB have FTX, like a giant FTX patch on their uniform.
I mean, you just have to follow the trend. If you think how much money it would cost to invest in those sorts of platforms, they got some cash. Let's just put it that way. And there's big money in crypto. So, I mean, you got to get in the game. If not, I mean, at this point, it's a not going away. It's a staying currency. ETH isn't going away. Bitcoin isn't going away. I mean, some of these altcoins, who the hell knows what's going to happen? But you can sit on the sidelines, you can get in the game, and we choose to get in.
You know what I think would be a huge signing for Socios, as a matter of fact? And Socios, if you guys are interested in this, we might be able to make it happen. Web3 DJs. Now, there's an awesome YouTube show called Web3 DJs. I think if Socios were to sign them, that might be huge for the program. So there's no bias there.
He'll get a tattoo on his face right here. Socios.
Depends on how much they sign us for, but yeah, I guess that is technically a possibility.
$2,000. Come on, man.
Yeah, that is technically a possibility. I suppose you are right there. But yeah, I'll go ahead and pull your screen up. What did you want to show us?
Well, I wanted to show you. Who the hell knows what's going on in the NFTs right now? Like Acequia Meta. What the fuck is this? Like, this is number one right now. I must have been sleeping. Then you've got the potatoes. Okay.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
NFT, Lady Ape Club, casual slots. I feel like we're back a year ago because these all look like they're relatively new, but I've never heard of any of them. Nexi Orb. Have you heard of that? Nope. Rags to Richie by Alec Monopoly. Well, Alec Monopoly is a named artist. That's probably a guy if you want to get in on that. Mystic Universe. The Voyagers. Nina's Super Cool World. I mean, have you heard of any of these?
No, they sound super cool, though.
Stray Dogs Official. Degen Fat Cats. I mean, that's a Solana project.
I kind of like that.
YOLO Holiday. Like, dude, what is going on? And then you got all like the blue chips mixed in here. I feel like I need to go do some research, but what the hell is going on in NFTs?
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it is pretty wild. Part of the reason is we talk about this new meta free mints, right? And the opportunity is when the mints are free, the barriers to entry become really low. And therefore, the quality doesn't need to be up to par to get people to join your projects. And so, therefore, their market is a little bit saturated in lieu of that. I think there's a lot of projects coming in who just want to see, hey, let's see if this works. Let's just put together the first iteration of art that we can come up with, and let's just pump out this project and hope for the best. And so I think that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Yeah, it's an interesting time. I was talking about this. I sent out a tweet the other day saying that you have to have stamina to stay in this game. And what I mean by that is I've been going hard since, March of last year?
Yeah.
So over a year, and just think about how many Discords you'd have to stay involved in. I mean, all the ones that are still here, but you're checking every day for announcements. You're trying to do whatever it is for a giveaway. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to stay current. And, now that Solana is kind of bigger in this, you're just adding more to it. And just all these new projects, like, don't you feel like that a little bit? It's like, oh, there's another mint right now. It's like, we've done it so many times. It's like, what's going to make me want to get into a project? Like, you're going to have to be here for at least 3 months before I even fuck with it, like, at all.
Brother, I've got the stamina. No, I will say,
but I'm just saying, like, the average person that comes in here, if you haven't been in this, like, just just understand it's gonna require some work to get up to speed.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I felt it personally. So, one of my strategies initially was looking for sale that I had in my NFT portfolio all the time. Hey, I no longer do that because it's tough. Also, because people aren't buying as frequently as they were before. On top of that, because there are so many different projects in the market, um, it's tough to keep up with them all. And in this game, if going to sleep too early could be the matter of making or breaking in terms of getting profit or taking a loss on a position that you get in. If you go to sleep at 10 p.m., the project rocket to the moon at 11 or go to the trash. And it's very the snowball effect is very real space. All it takes is a little bit of momentum either way, and it could go to the top or to the bottom. And so I definitely think it requires a ton of attention. We talked about that a little bit last week on our show with the Humanians and Nurse Uma. The mental health aspect is real. It isn't easy to focus on anything this long, even something that you enjoy, and to focus this intensely is tough. And so something that I've tried to do in lieu of that is actually kind of reduce the amount of positions that I'm in. One of the easiest ways to do that is only buy things that you believe in the long term, which, of course, that may be duh to somebody who's just starting out, but oftentimes these short-term flips are very attractive. And so that's one thing that I've done. And then the second thing is just, I've tried to sell things off that require too much of my attention. If something says you need to be in here every single day, claiming your tokens, or you need to be in here once a week and do X, Y, Z, sometimes I just don't have the capacity to do that. We both have full-time jobs, you own a business, so on and so forth. And so, I think it is very taxing to have to pay attention to something this long. We're definitely seeing that right now.
But why did we start doing this in the first place? We get this common interest. It's exciting. It's new. There's never been a genre of art or something even close to this. And I still believe it's the future. It's not as crazy and hectic as it was last year, but I mean, if ETH gets back up to 4,000, you're going to have a ton of people coming back in the space, and you're going to have another boom. Now, we don't know when that's going to happen, but our whole thing was we wanted to talk to projects. We wanted to talk to influencers. We wanted to talk to people in the space just to learn about what it takes to make an NFT, or, why did you get in it? Because there's so many interesting people in this space and everybody has a different path. And we just wanted to tell that story. And that's, why we started this. And I think now, what have we done? Close to 60 shows, and we've had some pretty named people, some big projects. We had,
let's go ahead and pull this up. Yeah. So let me just interrupt you real quick, and I'll throw it back your way. Just for anybody who hasn't checked this out, I know that a lot of our audience is on Twitter. Go ahead and check out our YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and tell a friend, because we really appreciate the support. We're at 99 subscribers. Come on, one away. Who's going to be number 100 for
Triple digits. Come on.
There it is. Triple goes to quadruple to whatever 5 means.
A sweet NFT. I've got about 400 of them to give away.
Perfect. Yeah. So anyways, you were saying, talking about our show.
No, just talking about our show and why we wanted to do this. The other thing is we're like, hey, let's start a YouTube show. How do you do that? I don't know. Let's fucking do it. So what have we been doing this now for 3-4 months, and trying to do every Wednesday and every Sunday. And I think, one thing I have learned is this work. Like having a YouTube show and a podcast, or even putting all that stuff together, requires work. Making a commitment 2 times a week is not, it sounds easy, but getting people coordinated and getting people on your show and technical difficulties or whatever. So part of this was a learning project. I don't think either of us had ever done this. And so, I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about what we've done. It's pretty cool. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I got into this honestly more than anything to make money, of course. But, putting that's always kind of one of my main goals. So I'll go ahead and put that to the side. And I think really, like you said, it's about learning for me. I consider myself a lifelong learner. And we always say on the show, even when you take a hard L, it's not really an L unless it stands for learning, or you have that opportunity to make it that way. And so
what have you learned, Sticky? What have you learned since you've been doing this?
I learned that nothing in life, sure. I think the other thing that I've learned is that Web3 really is an interesting space in terms of the people that are involved in it and the ways you can become involved, right? We've had projects on that have literally went after the formal Web 2 kind of business structure and hired CEOs, hired head of marketing, so on and so forth. And then we've had other creators on here who said, like, yo, I'm doing this all myself. I'm going to put out a project and do something else. Our friend Alan Reyes just built a marketplace where you no longer have to build things from the ground up. You can leverage his marketplace and buy art from him, or you could buy the Web3 kind of development backend from him, whatever it is. And so I think that's something that I've really learned is there is opportunity for everybody. One of the things that Getter Chronic was saying before we got rugged is like he bet on himself. And I think that if you're willing to do that in this space here, yeah, man, the sky's the limit. If you put yourself out there and take a genuine leap on the blockchain, I think Web3 will catch you. At least you'll find a certain group of individuals who are willing to extend their arms and catch you. And so that I've really learned here, land of opportunity, I think is what I keep calling it. It really reminds me of kind of like the settling days in the United States, the great frontier, where people will just, there's all this open space and it's up to you to go grab it and build something from it. Some people are going to build giant cities. Some people are just going to build a home for themselves. Some people are building a small town, a few close friends. And here what we're trying to build is something big, something great, and doing it together. So plus the other thing that I learned more than anything is always take profits. If you don't take anything else from that, always take profits. That's the number one thing I learned for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think my takeaways are, one, I wanted to stay current. And like I've said before, when social media started, it was almost unheard of that you would have a full-time person or hire a company to do social media. And I remember this. I remember like at one point it was like 90-10. 10% of companies were investing in social media. And now it's like flipped. It's like 90%, maybe 10 aren't. And that was a shift over about 10 years. Well, I truly believe the way that customer service, the way that consumers are going to interact with brands is going to be this model. Discord, getting an NFT in a membership club, being in a smaller community of people, something that's more personable, and like even how they do merch, like having these small runs in these, exclusive communities and being a part of that, there's value to that. And I think that the consumer is shifting away from like, they even start, like, I don't know if you know this, but Nike pulled a number of their distributors, their big store distributors, because they're going more towards Nike stores with the consumer experience where you come in and you can scan stuff. They already made this a couple of years ago. And that's the shift that retailers, so it falls right into other things that have been happening. And I just don't think that the technology has caught up yet. I really don't. I think there's so much stuff when everyone's like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. Yeah, it sounds really good until you actually try to do it. And you go, oh, shit, well, this doesn't work as good as I thought. Oh, someone's going to have to build a platform to, make this cheap and inexpensive and, and work. And so I still think we're so early in this whole space. I also think that collectibles and what we've experienced, that was in this first year. But I think when more people come in, they're going to use NFT technology or smart contracts in lots of different unique ways that haven't even been thought up yet, because you can't do them currently. So
yes, so I think some of the coolest ideas that I've heard about have been the deed to your home. Changing the deed to your home to a smart contract so that anytime the house is sold for the rest of forever, this wallet gets a percentage of those proceeds. I'm like, wow, that is amazing in itself. Of course, we've heard of the same kind of concepts being thought of for music and for artists, right? Anytime that this song is played or song is sold and that sort of thing, rather than the record company getting its percentage, the individual artist gets a percentage of those sales forever. I think those are some of the coolest. And then most recently, I heard Gary Vee talk about this, and I've been thinking this way forever, but he used it specifically for movies, using your NFT and selling your NFT to fund a movie, and then anyone who owns that NFT gets a percentage of the royalties of the movie. I think that that can be expanded to pretty much any business. I've thought about creating an NFT project to fund like a real estate fund and buy different homes, or creating NFT projects to buy, land to fund any sort of the X number of business ideas that I have. And so I think that the blockchain technology, I mean, we don't know what we don't know, but somebody out there is going to create something big, and it's really going to blow the roof.
Well, but think about it, right? This reminds me of like when a bunch of people get together and they smoke weed and they just like talk about ideas. That's how NFT first year of NFTs has felt to me. Now,
Sure.
the amount of people that have actually done something and executed on their idea is even fewer. So let's take a technology like, real estate. That means someone's going to have to build a company and create some sort of technology that allows that to happen. That's not an easy thing to do. So yeah, it sounds great. That's what's going to happen. But the money that you're going to have to invest in that, the platform, all the logistics around that to get that done, I just don't think it's there yet. And so it's cool to talk about all these different things and the way it's going to be and in the future and this and that. But the cool thing about this is that there's a new boom. Like how you even create these businesses, it's like crowdfunding meets, I don't know, 20 other things.
Sure.
These are all crowdfunding businesses.
Yeah,
that's how they started.
Yep.
And you still gotta actually figure out how you're gonna have cash flow to keep the business going. You have to figure out, first year, okay, we just barely got off the ground, but now, oh shit, we got the money. How are we actually gonna do this? And there's a lot of challenges between that and when you actually maybe exit a company or make it successful. And that's the difference between companies that actually are going to win and companies that aren't, is the people that can continue to figure out how to get around obstacles, that can build a good team, and that can execute. And that just shrinks the amount of these companies that are actually going to be here long term, not to mention the technology it's going to take in order to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone talks about, one of the ways to do that and to build a successful business, to provide utility to your community, to your holders. And I agree 100%. But I will say one of the other things that I have learned during my time in this space, and this is a personal opinion, but there is no greater utility than, one, obviously putting some cash in my pocket. That's what I want most. But two, I think the other kind of best form of utility I've had is actually my in real life friends getting involved in the project as well, and us all talking about it together, like, yo, this is so awesome, we all really love this project. That's kind of been the best form of utility for me. So we're coming close to 30 minutes. I know we talked about being the fastest 30 minutes on the blockchain. I had a quick question for you, Hofstra. So if you got $1 million right now, you had to spend it on crypto, where are you putting it? What are you buying? What's on your wish list, or what do you think would be your move?
Ethereum, 100%. Just for where it sits right now.
Just gonna
I
put
don't
it
know
all
if I don't know if I'd put it all there. It would be Ethereum and Bitcoin 1, 2, and then I'd mix in Solana, Tezos, a couple of these altcoins. But that would be a very small percentage, because everything I've heard is it's, either Ethereum 1, Bitcoin 2, Bitcoin 1, Ethereum 2. There's more applications that are the ones that are further out in the front. But
No.
And that'd be the safest bet. You want to take some flyers, then you could get on like VeChain type stuff, or Chili's, or
official blockchain of the UFC.
Yeah, just I mean, you could sprinkle in some of those, and if you had 10 of them in one hit, you're gonna do good. But I don't know. I think the days of this craze are coming to an end. I think you might have a couple more pumps, but there's these unique periods of time that you're going to hit these things, and if you don't hit them in that time frame, I don't know that you get another opportunity.
For sure. Yeah, I agree. And I think for me, what I was buying is I would for sure get a Bored Ape Yacht Club, no question about that. I put a lot of my money into NFTs, but I'd put it to a Bored Ape Yacht Club. What else would I buy? I would buy a bunch of metacards. I always talk about the metacard and metacard. So the Nelk Boys just announced to launch a new business endeavor, and they're going to make their metacard holders business partners there. So I think that could be really cool for me. I believe in them. And then the rest, I'd probably distribute. Actually, I wouldn't put any money in Bitcoin. That's not financial advice or anything like that. But I would put most of it in Ethereum, Tezos, Solana. That's basically what I would do with the remainder of it. Well, actually, let me digress. That's only if I had to put it in crypto. If I didn't, I'd buy myself a home. So there it is.
Okay, well, if I won the lottery, there's lots of stuff that I would do.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have something else you were going to show?
I was just looking at the market. That's my only the way I've felt this week is like it takes stamina to be in this, and like even staying involved in some of these projects that are not doing a whole lot, or even that are bigger name projects, but I've just like lost interest in some of them where I'm not even wanting to check them because I'm like, what are you going to tell me that you're hosting another Twitter space today? I don't give a fuck. Like, what are we doing with the business? Show me how you're going to continue to make revenue long term. Until you figure that out, it doesn't matter. You can host as many Twitter spaces as you want, but if you can't figure out how to keep income coming in, this project is not going to be here.
Yep, I agree 100%. And in lieu of that, another strategy that I've taken now is rather a project that I think is awesome. I'm really looking at the founders. I don't think I'm a younger individual myself, so no knock on anybody out there who's creating a project at my age or younger than my age, around my age, whatever you want to call it. But I really want somebody who's established in Web 2 to launch a project. That's who I want to give my money. Apes individuals, they were a perfect example of that. They've kind of done something. They're established, know how to run a business. Those are the people I want to give my money to. I no longer want to give it to somebody who makes cool art. And I know that might hurt for a lot of people to hear on the blockchain, but that's really how I feel now. I think it's a safer bet to give it to people who don't need this NFT project, right? Because we talk about it, we see them again. We can call it a rug or whatever we want, but nothing fails like success. We give these people who were just drawing on their eye for fun tens of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, and then the project doesn't go anywhere forever. And it's because, they had nothing. You gave them a bunch of cash before providing any sort of real value, and they left. They got a taste of the good life, and they don't have that drive to work anymore. And so I like giving my money to individuals who don't need the project, and as kind of wild as it is to say, who almost view the project as like a side project, a pet project, because I think they're going to keep grinding and bring it to fruition in the longer. So,
yeah, I mean, even Three Arrows Capital, though. I mean, you talk about a huge project, Suzu, some big names in that. They rugged. It's like there's a lot of big companies that also like that you have to be even more skeptical now. And I think you've got to be willing to just be okay with losing your money if it's gone in some of these projects, to have that emotional attachment. And it's this thing because, like, imagine you've really invested into a project that's your PFP, you're emotionally connected, and then all of a sudden it's rugged, or the founders go separate ways. Like, I don't know. I'm just a lot more skeptical. And that's why, like, there's a core group of projects that I'm involved in right now. And I don't know.
Nice. I mean, stick to your guns. I mean, the other thing is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I think, we're scrolling open, see, we didn't know any of those projects, but we do have a group of individuals that we know are continuing behind the scenes. I consider my core group of projects that I'm interested in are, specifically Gutter Cat Gang, Cryptoon Goons. I think those would be the two that I am personally super bullish on. You also have, like I said, I really want to get into the Full Send Metacard. I don't own one yet, but I think that one's an awesome kind of set it and forget it. And then Alien Friends we're trying to figure out what's going on with them. Haven't pushed out a lot of product lately, but bullish on Alien Friends. And those are kind of, I keep it pretty close from there. We're much at time. We talked about it being the fastest 30 minutes on the blockchain. Hofstra, before you're writing a book about your Web3 experience to date, what's the title?
Oh man, the title would be like, hold on to your jockstrap.
That's funny. And for me, it would be always take profits. Do you have any closing words for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could sit on the sideline or you can get in the game. So don't bitch if things go the wrong way, because we know what stakes are and, the kind of game that we're playing. So sometimes you got to take a couple bruises and get scraped up to come back a little bit smarter. And if you keep coming back, what do they say? It's not how hard you get hit, but how hard you get hit and keep coming forward. That's
Okay.
it's crypto.
Nice. Couldn't agree more. Buddy, thanks for joining us. I'm Sticky Finger Jones. This is Hofstra. Again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friend about it. We will be back this Wednesday with the Dizzy Dragons. Now, if you guys were in the space earlier, Dizzy Dragons was awesome. It was a project that I always wanted to get into. They've had their ups, they've had their downs, and we're going to talk all about it Wednesday. Until next time, peace.
Peace.